Big changes are coming to HBO Max. Now, not only are they being bought by Paramount and could soon just go away as all of its content moves over to Paramount Plus, but it's kind of in limbo right now. What is the future of HBO Max as Paramount's facing multiple lawsuits now trying to block its purchase of Warner Brothers Discovery? We've seen some changes over at HBO Max, CNN content leaving and other things changing there. So what's happening? We're going to break it all down here for you. I've been a reporter for over 12 years covering the world of streaming and media and all kinds. Here on my second channel, I like to break down some stories I think deserve a deeper dive than I can do on my main channel. So with that said, if you like what we do here, you can find a huge catalog of back videos like this. And if you like it, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, doing one or both. Lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. All right, a little background. You probably have heard with all the news coverage, Paramount is trying to buy Warner Bros. Discovery. They hope to close it as soon as next week. Now, there are multiple lawsuits seeking to block it. Get this question a lot. Has it been blocked? Is it still going forward? Well, the lawsuits have asked for a preliminary injunction to block the purchase. At the time of this recording, who knows if this will change before I even hit post, Paramount has not had an injunction against them. The court has not heard that and not filed an injunction one way or the other. The plaintiffs, 12 states, and the Writers Guild of America are arguing that this will hurt the end consumer. Writers Guild of America says, hey, it would mean less work for us, hurting our members with this. Paramount's arguing, hey, both HBO Max, Paramount Plus are struggling. Both Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount are struggling. They're losing money on some of their streaming services, etc. They need this to survive. The judge is going to have to look at this. There's two arguments here. Number one, the plaintiffs, the Writers Guild of America and the states will have to show that irreparable harm will be done if this merger goes through while the court case happens. Two, they'll also have to make an argument that they're likely to prevail. And then third, that, hey, if they do merge, it could be hard to unmerge them if that's what happens. Paramount's going to argue, number one, no irreparable damage. Number two, they're arguing that we're not going to harm anybody, we're going to help people. And that, hey, if we are lose this and you do say we have to sell some or all of Warner Brothers Discovery, we can easily just sell off whatever. That happens a lot. When Disney bought 20th Century Fox, they got the Fox Regional Sports Networks, and the DOJ said you can do that, but you have to sell them within a certain window. Disney took ownership of them, made arrangements, sold them at the time to Sinclair, who later spun them off, and now they're gone. But they were able to take ownership and then find a seller. Paramount's going to point right to that and say, hey, see, Disney can do it, we can do it. If you say, for example, we need to sell some of these cable networks or part of the studios or whatever, we'll just sell whatever you want. A lot of legal experts I'm hearing are split on this. They expect one way or the other to have this happen. Now, there's that one side will say, hey, yeah, they'll allow the merger to go through and then figure out later. Other side, they'll say they'll block it. One thing is the HBO Max, and even if they allow the merger to go through, I would not be surprised if the judge says, but HBO Max and Paramount Plus must continue to run independently from each other. That's a possibility from the judge too. They could put certain limitations on it. For example, Nexstar owns Tegna, but is required by the judge right now to keep Tegna as an independently running operating entity, even though it's owned by Nexstar as the lawsuit goes forward. So keep that in mind. So what does that mean for HBO Max? In the short term, for you, the end consumer, nothing is probably going to change. I think if anything is likely to have an injunction, it's the HBO Max merger into Paramount Plus, and maybe merging the catalogs in the back end. But I wouldn't be surprised at all, one way or the other, if the judge does a full injunction. Wouldn't be surprised if the judge does a limited injunction. Wouldn't be surprised if the judge lets it all go through and points to the Disney merger and says, well, if we rule something they don't shouldn't have, that's too much power in their area, we'll force them to sell it then. We'll see what happens here. Now, Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery both have a similar problem. Their streaming services are either not profitable or not that profitable and struggling to get new subscribers. The idea is bringing them together will allow them to be profitable by having a larger catalog, merging subscribers. While there certainly is overlap between the two, merging them together will help grow the two different streaming services into one larger one. Overall, we're seeing a huge consolidation in the world of streaming. If you've watched me for a long time, you've probably heard there are more streaming services than the market can support. Because of that, a lot of streaming services are shutting down, merging, and facing pressure from their investors to find a way forward. For over a decade now, investors have been pouring money into unprofitable streaming services, as most of them are not, in an attempt to hope that they'll be the next big Netflix. Well, many of them haven't been that. Many of them are losing money, and investors are starting to say, hey, it's been 10 years, we want some of our money back. Find a way to get profitable. And that's a big problem for a lot of these streaming services. How do you quickly solve that? Well, if you take two maybe mildly profitable companies, or two companies that are losing money but have decent subscriber bases, combine them, well, suddenly you have economies of scale, more eyeballs, maybe you can get more ad revenue and other things. We're already seeing a growing consolidation. Disney's merging Hulu into Disney Plus. BET Plus is shutting down and moving over to Paramount Plus. We've seen other consolidation in other markets like NewsOn being sold and more. Keep an eye on that going forward. Even if HBO Max doesn't sell to Paramount, it's going to sell somebody. Now, the other big bidder has been Netflix, and there's been reports that Netflix is working behind the scenes to undermine this, maybe hoping to swoop back in and buy Warner Brothers Discovery still. The argument that there's reduced competition hurting consumers, if that sticks on Paramount, I don't think there's any way we will see Netflix be able to buy HBO Max. Combining Netflix and HBO Max into a single company would be massively larger than Paramount, merging Paramount Plus and HBO Max. The economies of scale, size, all that aren't even close. If a judge rules that that is not allowed, a lot of these mergers that a lot of people have been talking about, Peacock in particular, struggling. They've been looking for options. Netflix buying something like Peacock, or Netflix buying HBO Max. There's no way that in a fair judicial system you can say Paramount buying HBO Max, which are much smaller than Netflix, and Netflix then being allowed to buy them is fair. It's just not. So I see a lot of comments on that. Oh, Netflix should, Paramount can't buy them. That's not fair. Netflix should buy them. That would create if you want to talk about consumer damage because of being too large. For a consumer, the monopoly of HBO Max and Netflix with their studios and more and their streaming powerhouse is huge. So in the near term, I think if this doesn't go through, it's very likely that HBO Max will remain independent or be spun off, shut down. Maybe Warner Brothers Discovery just licenses its content out. Wouldn't surprise me at all if that happens with it. Leave me a comment. What do you think is going to happen? What do you want? But in the near term, and even for the foreseeable future, if you're an HBO Max subscriber, not much is changing. But someday soon, everything is about to change. As either A, I think they're going to merge, they're going to be shut down, or all their content is just going to be ripped out of them and made the service basically uninteresting to a lot of people. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. But you can find out more about this in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. If you like what we do here, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. Until next time, take care, be safe. We'll be back again real soon.